AAA studios have always been remarkably bad when it comes to communication, but this is some of the worst that I've seen since 2017. See, Bethesda took to Steam to try to answer some of the woes of players that have been playing, well, Starfield. And because the game has had mixed reviews, it seems like they're out there trying to do a little bit of cleanup. And for the most part, I can actually appreciate that. Going right to the source, right to the problem, talk to the people that are upset with the game the most. However, the way that they responded, well, it's not good. Harvey Randall over on PC Gamer posted an article titled, "Bethesda Still Responding to Negative Starfield Reviews with Cheesy Taglines." And at this point, I just want the studio's reply brigade to log off. This really isn't the play. The article reads, "Just over a week ago, I talked about how Starfield was getting a beating on Steam. From where I'm sitting, it's just the result of hype not meeting expectations. It's a decent game, it's just that decent is a huge problem when we were all strapped in for the next big Bethesda RPG. One thing that genuinely bothered me, however, was seeing a Bethesda developer responding to some of those negative reviews in a half-hearted attempt at damage control. It's not inherently bad for a developer to respond to criticism, maybe not advisable, but not unheard of, especially if it's taking fair critiques into account. That's not what's happening here. As pointed out by Twitter user Juicehead, Bethesda is entrenched in a long spree of nuh-uhs on Steam. The latest bout of developer replies haven't taken place just yesterday, November 27th. None of these recent replies, which I counted at least 10 of, even come close to acknowledging that the game has some issues. Most use the same paragraph or two to target various criticisms. Just to highlight some of these reviews, this user, with over 200 hours played in the game, simply wrote, "Midfield." Bethesda responded saying, "We are so sorry to hear that you did not enjoy your time in Starfield. Our team is constantly working to ensure that Starfield is a fun and polished experience. You can take your time to explore various planets for resources and items. You can also break the law by smuggling and selling contraband. Build your own outposts and starships and customize them to your enjoyment. Exploration and role-playing. There are many things to do and explore. You can visit our Discord for further ideas from other players." Another user writes with over 30 hours in the game saying that the story isn't that bad, but the game lacks the freedom of exploring the stars and space like No Man's Sky. Combine that with the fact that most of them are empty with nothing interesting to offer, and you get a boring result making you not want to explore any of them because there's nothing to explore. Having to fast travel instead of flying through space makes the game feel less of an open world game. Didn't give the same feeling for Space World Game as Skyrim did for Fantasy World Game, or Fallout 4 for Post-Apocalyptic World Game. Bethesda responds by saying, "Greetings. Thank you for taking the time to leave a review for Starfield. Given the immense size of Starfield, we felt it made more sense to be able to use your grav drive to jump to other solar systems. The option to fly freely among the planets is still there, and you can travel from one planet to another and land without needing to open your map if you use your scanner. However, for an expedition like Solar System Traversal, jumping is necessary. Remember that fast travel also has its perks, as you can do so quickly when trying to complete quests, and will always be given a visual of your ship launching and landing, thus being able to appreciate the little details that make your customized ship look unique. Some of Starfield's planets are meant to be empty by design, but that's not boring. When astronauts went to the moon, there was nothing. They certainly weren't bored. The intention of Starfield's exploration is to evoke a feeling of smallness in the player and make you feel overwhelmed. You can continue to explore and find worlds that do have resources you need or hidden outposts to look through." Now, I take issue with this for a couple of different reasons. One being the fact that they're just responding to what anybody says on here. It doesn't matter what you say. You got one dude with over 200 hours into the game. He just drops a comment saying, "Midfield." While hilarious, doesn't actually provide any value to Bethesda, so there's really no reason for them to even respond to it in the first place. It's definitely not one meant for somebody to respond to. But then you have somebody that does give valuable feedback, somebody that actually has valid criticism that you could internalize and use in a constructive way, and instead what you do is you gaslight them. And you say, no, you don't understand. The reason why you don't like the game is because you're just not seeing it from the Bethesda point of view. See, if you just drank the Kool-Aid and you understand and you saw the game the way that we did, then, you would enjoy the game because that's how people work. So if you just imagine real hard that you like Starfield, you'll like Starfield. And if for some reason you don't, then I don't know. It's just, it's stupid. Like, not only does it make the user feel worse because it's obvious that you don't care about their feedback, But also on top of that, it also shows anybody else seeing this that you don't care about the feedback. Therefore, you don't care about making your game better or trying to fix those issues that the issues that person specifically brought up are ones that a lot of people have problems with the game with. Now, beyond that, the other thing that really irks me about this, the only reason they're on Steam responding to these people is because they're trying to raise their Steam user reviews. That's it. They're just trying to increase sales, make the picture look a little better. That's all it is. Because that's how Steam works. Myself, like many other people, when I go and I look at a game and it's mixed or lower, chances are I don't buy. And if I do, it's because I have to go and look and do a little bit of extra research on the side to learn a little bit more about the game and the state that that game is in before I make that purchase. Most of the time, if the game is overwhelmingly positive, very positive, or positive, that means that that community is vibrant and alive, and they are very happy with the state that that game is in. That's not the case with Starfield. The situation with Starfield bears a striking resemblance to the issues that we had with EA and Star Wars Battlefront 2, where back in 2017, EA responded to player feedback centered around the game's microtransaction system. The issue came to a head when a Reddit user complained about the insane amount of time that was required to unlock characters like Darth Vader, a process that seemed like it was designed to push players into purchasing loot boxes. EA responded on Reddit, stating that the intent was to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different characters. This response became quickly infamous, drawing widespread criticism from the gaming community. Gamers and industry observers interpreted this response as tone-deaf and indicative of a predatory microtransaction system that was designed to extract more money from players rather than actually enhance the gaming experience. And for EA's comment, the backlash was intense and immediate. That comment rapidly amassed a significant number of downvotes, making it the most downvoted comment in all of Reddit's history. I'm just now realizing why these two statements reminded me of one another. It's because the Starfield one says the intention of Starfield's exploration is to evoke a feeling of smallness in players and make you feel overwhelmed. And the EA one says the intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. They're basically like the exact same thing, just about different stuff. Whole lot of intent, not any delivery, though. And one of the reasons why we really don't like these kind of statements is specifically because they are tailored corporate responses in an effort to try to quell the fires. And we're just not down for that because it's a non-response in our eyes. We see this for what it is. We see it as you don't actually care what our feedback is. What you'd rather do is try to put out a statement that hopefully turns some eyes and gets us on your narrative and believe what you want us to believe about the game or how we're supposed to enjoy it because you want to tell us how to enjoy your games. You want to tell us how we should be experiencing your games and that we're doing it the wrong way, apparently. Well, that's not how gameplay works. That's not how gamers engage with games in the first place. And if you knew that, chances are you wouldn't have made these mistakes to begin with, in the game or outside of them. But they continue to make these mistakes time and time again. And a lot of the time, especially in the case of actually both Star Wars Battlefront 2 and also Starfield, is that a lot of this was just predicated on player expectations. We expected more from both of these experiences, and then we got less as a result. One, obviously, monetized into the ground, but the other one, just not the experience that everyone was expecting. And that also is their communication again. Just like this being one of their issues, it was also their communication before those games came out that was the issue that brought about a lot of this negativity to begin with. If they would have better communicated how their games are being designed and what those experiences are going to be like, well, then we would have known what to expect when those games came out. However, because these companies regularly fail at communication, both with reviews, with responses to their players, and also before those games ever come out, well, this is the mess that we continually find ourselves in. So when you do make these mistakes and you don't communicate properly with us before the game is released and the game does not meet the expectations that you set for the customer, and then the customer has feedback for you to try to get that game to those expectations that you set, you should be internalizing that. You should be taking it. You should be doing something with it other than just trying to throw it back in their face and gaslight them into believing they need to play the game that you envisioned it, how you envisioned people to play it. That's not how this works. I don't like seeing this kind of stuff. And this is really the reason why a lot of people over the years have started to trust AAA less and less, and why they've started to flock to indie, AA, single A, and so on. Or even just some of these smaller companies that still put out AAA experiences. At least they're treating their customers the right way. At least they're engaging with the gamers the right way. They have their pulse on the community. They understand our needs. They understand we just want to be a part of the process in any way we can, because we want to actually help you make the game better, because who's better at telling you what they want than us? We can't tell you how to do it, but we can tell you what we want. It's your job to figure that out. And if you can't take it and your response is just to, I don't know, throw it back in our faces, that's on you. I'll go somewhere else to buy my games. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe. Most of all, I'll see you in... What am I playing right now? I'm playing something. If you guys like the video, like and subscribe. Drop a comment down below. I'm out of here. Peace.